Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be attempting to make sourdough bread for the first time. I'm going to be using a recipe that I got from my grandma as well as a sourdough starter that she gave me. I think this one is about a week and a half or 2 weeks old, and I've been feeding it for maybe 3 or 4 days. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble the dough. We're going to need 5 cups of flour, and here I'm using 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and 1 cup of rye flour. The reason why I'm using multiple kinds of flour here is just for taste. My family usually bakes bread with rye flour, so I thought that would be a nice addition, and I also wanted to add some whole wheat for hardiness and a little bit of fiber. We're also going to be adding 1 full tablespoon of salt. And we're also going to be adding 1 full cup and 1/4 cup of our sourdough starter. I still have some sourdough starter left in this jar, which is great because I can keep feeding it for a few days, and then by then I'll have enough to make my own bread again. I'm just going to be mixing all of these ingredients together to make sure they're evenly incorporated. Now I'm going to be adding 2 cups of water, and I'm going to mix this until it resembles a dough. I think it took 10 or 12 minutes of kneading to get it looking nice and elastic. You will know that it's done because it'll feel really smooth, and you can do the window pane test, which is when you take a bit of the dough and stretch it out, and if you can see through it like it's translucent like a window pane, that means that the gluten has developed and that it's ready to sit and be proofed. Once you're done with your kneading, your end product should look soft and pillowy, and once you've determined that your dough is ready for its first rise, we're going to go ahead and put that bad boy into a large bowl that's been floured to keep it from sticking. As you can see here, I was really lazy with my bowl and I just used the one that I had mixed the ingredients in. You don't have to do that. And we're going to cover that with saran wrap or a towel to keep the moisture in, keep it humid, and let it proof for about 3 hours. And then after those 3 painstaking hours have gone by, we're going to put that dough out onto a surface and we're going to knead it. It looks a little misshapen and disheveled and maybe a little deflated here. Not sure if that was my rise or if that's just how the dough is supposed to look, but we're going to knead that until it looks really, really soft and smooth, and I think that should be about another 5 to 10 minutes. I could be massively overestimating the kneading time on that. My grandma's recipe didn't have any measurements of time for kneading, so I was just eyeballing it, but we're going to keep kneading that guy, and eventually we're going to split it into 2 loaves using a bench scraper or a butter knife or a regular knife, any sharp surface that you have. And then once we've got these 2 little loaves, we're going to knead them a bit more just so that they become round and that they will be able to sit well for their second rise. For the second rise, this time it's going to be 3.5 hours, and we're going to need 2 bowls because we have 2 loaves this time. You can use flour again to coat the bottom to prevent them from sticking. And then after those 3.5 hours go by, we're going to flip our loaves onto a baking sheet with parchment paper on it. I made 2 little cuts in the top here so that as they expand in the oven, they wouldn't split super badly. And then the recipe instructions say that we're going to be baking this at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 to 50 minutes or until it looks crispy and brown. I was so happy with how these came out. I think they look super rustic and nice, like some good old country bread that someone's grandma would make you, which I guess is what kind of happened in my case. Here I am cutting open one of the loaves. I think this one came out better than the other one. It's got a nice crackly top and the bottom is super nice and golden brown. And as you can see, as I cut the slices, they come out so beautiful. I was really surprised by these. They have those lovely little air pockets inside of them, and though it is a little bit thick in the center, I think it came out really nicely. Here I am doing a little taste test of some of the bread. I cut a super wonky piece and slathered some butter on it. It is so delicious and so yummy. I really liked the little bit of rye flavor that it has. The crust is super crunchy and beautiful. And yeah, I think I could eat the whole loaf in one sitting if I wasn't careful with it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this was helpful if you've never baked sourdough before. And if you have, you are probably laughing at my horrible attempt. But yeah, thanks anyway.